All right, welcome to our next winter special. I believe this is the fourth in order. You'll have heard at this point amazing interviews from folks like Justin Brock, John Kite, insight into peak in life, and maybe even more, depending on how I scheduled it. But now we're going to hear about the tech side of our industry. We're going to hear a little bit about Evan, his background, what he's built, what he knows about the space, and what he's working to get out to the industry now, because I think selling is so critical, doing a good job, buying leads, putting in the activity. But there comes a point where you got to get organized. And if you're not organized, all you're ever going to be doing is a same hamster wheel action over and over again, because you're never looking behind to see what you've been doing. So Evan's a master of building things that make our job more organized and more profitable. Evan, I'm going to turn the mic and conversation over to you for a quick introduction in case somebody is unfamiliar on who you are, your background and such, and then we'll get into your new product for the industry.
I appreciate that, Chris. No, thank you for having me on. I originally started as an agent myself and got into technology just because there wasn't a good solution out there for looking back and taking control of my commissions. So I originally started in 2020, right when COVID hit. I got licensed for life and health, and I got started with Family First Life. This was in Las Vegas, and I was going in-home appointments and buying leads off of Facebook and doing the aged deal. It was good. I wrote 20K my first month. I wrote 20K my second month, and I was off to the races. I did really well at FFL. I was a Hall of Fame producer. And then I said to myself, oh my God, this life insurance, I need to build up something passive in addition to this. So I went into Medicare sales and wrote a ton of Medicare. I wrote 600 clients in my first 12 months doing Medicare. And as you know, Chris, if you can sell life insurance, you can sell Medicare. And so I just took the ethic from Medicare, from life insurance, applied it to Medicare, and hit all my goals actually. But I was making all this money, but I had clients falling off the books. And I said to myself, and this is a point to what you mentioned earlier, is it's one thing to acquire a new client, but if you have clients falling off, if you have a hole in the bucket, then you're only going to go so far. So I'm like, well, I got to patch this hole because I have clients falling off the books. So eventually, long story short, built MediZeus. MediZeus would tell me in real time that my clients were falling off before they fell off. We had an API with CMS, and that's how I got into technology. I just built the prototype for myself, hired a developer to do that for me, showed it to other agents, and they loved it, so we built it into a proper product. MediZeus was up and running in 2024. It was amazing. We had a lot of success. Our customers had a lot of success with it. And then one day, CMS turned off our API. We couldn't get data. We couldn't get alerted that our clients were falling off the books at the end of the month or the end of the year. And so I had to shut the company down. But we were already working on a commission tracking solution. And so, hey, no more MediZeus. It's time to put full focus onto Comtrack. So Comtrack is probably what I'm going to talk about most today, but Comtrack is the commission tracker that insurance agents and agencies wish existed prior.
Outstanding. And I think a lot of folks, something goes wrong in their sales business, they quit, they're upline their leads, they find a reason to just all right, well, that's why I failed, except it was probably their fault. And you literally built something and then somebody else pushed or unplugged the button that made it work, and you didn't give up on it. You continued to work in the industry, make money, live your life, and then refocus your attention on the next thing you were developing anyway, which speaks a lot to character, where some people just lack real resilience and character in our industry. Talk about Comtrack. How does it work? What do I do with it? I'm not very tech savvy myself. I'll give you a funny story. I finally, after buying 5 different Go High levels, picked one, committed to it, have been working to improve it, and been taking calls and trying to sell. And I couldn't figure out how to get my headset that I bought to work on my laptop in Go High level. I had no idea.
Oh,
but I just kept I'll get better over time, but it's doing it and then figuring it out is how I do a lot of my stuff. So technology, not my expertise, definitely yours. Let's get into how this thing works.
Yeah. So if I share my screen, we're just going to talk about commissions from a high level. No matter what no pun intended, no matter what you're using, whether it be Comtrack or any other commission tracking solution out there, you're going to run into these kind of bottlenecks. All right. The first part is getting all your data into one place, whether it be Comtrack, agency block, any of them, right? You need to get your data in somewhere. If you're doing it by hand using Excel, you just need everything into one place. Now in Comtrack, we want to make everything as easy as possible for you. But the way that we do getting all your statements into one place is that we built Comtrack to recognize commission statements from over 300 carriers and FMOs. So what that means is that you don't have to manipulate the file at all. We don't want you to. Don't touch it. Just drag it into Comtrack, and Comtrack will recognize it, parse the data, and clean it up. So there's 4 ways to get your statements into Comtrack. You can manually drag them over. So you can drag 1 or 100 files over at the same time, and it'll handle everything. You can do it via email. So if you ever get emailed a statement from a small carrier or from an FMO, we'll automatically sync with your email inbox and digest any attachments that way. Zapier, this allows us to connect to Google Drive, Dropbox, Box.com. So if a file is added there, it'll automatically get what's called digested inside of Comtrack. And we have Retrieve, which is a big feature that we're still working on, but it took 9 months to build the first version. Retrieve is where Comtrack will go into the carrier portals on your behalf, download your commission statements, and then digest them automatically. So think of it as like a carrier data feed from the portals. And it's beautiful. We have this running with over 90 carriers. The reason that I mentioned that we're still working on it is because we add about 10 a month, and our users are really loving this. All right. So this is about getting all the data into one spot. We want to streamline that and automate that as much as possible. From there, you're going to ask yourself, do I have all my files digested? If you only write with 5 carriers, it's pretty easy to tell if you have all your files digested. But if you have 10, 15, 20 different carriers, it's going to get a little wonky. So the way that we answer this question is we compare your bank deposits against commission files. And we're able to say, okay, well, is there any bank deposit I've received that I don't have a commission statement for? And so if you have, let's just say, for example, a Cigna bank deposit for September, and you don't have any statements for Cigna September, well, hey, guess what that means? You got to go back and grab your Cigna, right? So we use Plaid to securely connect to over 12,000 banks. And this is a feature that's actually coming in a couple weeks. We're actually finalizing it, going through final testing right now. That'll be not a Christmas present to everybody, but this will be a New Year's present. Happy 2026. From here, you're going to want to visualize your data, right? So you're going to be able to see it row by row in minute detail within Comtrack, all in one nice uniform format. I'll show you that in a second. You'll have a dashboard where you can see, it is what you'd imagine it to be. It's got graphs. You can see your charts. Hopefully, it's going up and to the right. You can see your donut charts, pie graphs, and distribution. You can see your KPIs. We'll calculate your main KPIs for you and all that good stuff. Missing commissions. This is a stage where you're going to want to ask, hey, did I get paid on all my applications? So it's especially relevant right now, Chris, because you have a lot of Medicare producers who wrote during AEP. Were you the last app to win? AKA, are you going to get paid / did you get paid on all your applications? So in Comtrack, what we're able to do is we're able to cross-reference a list of clients that you wrote during AEP, or frankly, any time of the year, but in this case, AEP, against commission data that you have inside Comtrack. And with the Comtrack being the central source of data, if you ask Comtrack, hey, do I have commissions for John Smith, Sally Doe, Joe Schmo, right? And Comtrack returns, yes, you have a commission for him. Yes, you have a commission for her. Yes. Well, if it says, no, you don't have a commission, any commission at all for Sally Doe, well, hey, guess what that means? You wrote Sally Doe, but you don't have any commissions for him. So you never got paid. Maybe it's because you haven't gotten paid yet as of today, but if it's been a couple weeks or a couple months, hey, you haven't got paid on them. So it's a lot easier to go and save that sale than go out, market, and close another one, right? Underpayments. This is a feature that we put in 2025. I didn't like the way that it came out, so I actually ripped it out of the platform because it took too much time for our users to set up. We're redoing this, and then we're putting it back in 2026, probably March. But what it's going to do is it's going to read all your comp schedules from the carriers. Then it's going to effectively calculate your expected commission on every row or every commission row. And then it's going to show you if you got underpaid paid the correct amount, or frankly overpaid, which actually happens sometimes. So we're doing this, and then missing renewals. So you're getting your mailbox money, you're getting your $25 a month, and all of a sudden that client falls off the books. It just disappears and just vaporizes. It doesn't trigger a
Mhm.
charge because you never got advanced on it. So you're getting paid on John Smith $25 this month. All of a sudden, next month, he's just not there on the next month's commission statement. The only way to realize that is to look at last month's statement, this month's statement, and see who's not there anymore. And to do that by hand is a pain in the butt, especially across all your carriers for every month. But because we have all the data normalized and aggregated, we can achieve it with this button here called Missing Renewals. I'll show this to you. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's not fun to look at, but it's better to know than not know about anybody that fell off the books. Sync with your CRM. If you got high level, if you got Chris's CRM, you got anything under the sun, we have an API to sync with any CRM. And what this allows you to do is you have all this data within Comtrack on your clients. Well, hey, how about you enrich the data that you have on file for each one of your contacts inside your CRM? You can populate the carrier member ID, policy number, the carrier on file, maybe even the agent's name or the effective date, the premium. This is all stuff that we have inside Comtrack that we can obviously send to your CRM if you don't have it already on file. All right. And within your CRM, you can ask the question, did I get paid on all my apps? And you can ping Comtrack directly from your CRM and check if your policies are active for each one of your contacts.
Very interesting. Let's take a quick pause for a second because I got a couple questions I don't want to forget.
Okay.
I saw a lot of final expense, a lot of life, a lot of ancillary. Does the concept work the same way? Does it work, or will you be looking at doing that in the future?
Comtrack is built for life and health, so we handle Med Advantage, MedSep, ACA. For life, we handle all the major life carriers. We have the carrier portal integrations with all the major life carriers too.
Okay. I figured it would probably be relatively similar. How about
Yep.
compliance? I mean, there was a lot of controversy, and YouTube loves controversy. So I'm going to say controversy that maybe the algorithm will hear us say controversy and show us to more people. That a lot of what you had built in the past wasn't technically compliant. And I'm not a lawyer. I can hardly spell the word compliance, but I think it's important. Like, I don't want to lose my license trying to make a better business. How does compliance fit into this aspect of what you're doing?
So we're audited for SOC 2 and HIPAA compliance. If you come into our website, I can share my screen again, you can see all the controls and constraints that we have to abide by to maintain SOC 2 and HIPAA. As far as like using the platform, I mean, we're super secure and there's nothing that's non-compliant about Comtrack. You could argue with MediZeus, we were riding a fine line and it was a gray area. We're letting you know about clients that are about to fall off the books. And obviously, if somebody's going to fall off the books, you want to reach out to them. Technically, the language within CMS was, hey, if they're your client, you can reach out to them for a disenrollment quality survey. Very vague. I don't know what they meant by that, but you can interpret it as you like. The one thing that MediZeus did that was, I guess, against the rules is that we monetized the software. So in our terms of service, there was a clause that said we could not receive remuneration for PHI. And we were charging a monthly service fee. It was like $89 a month. And we were exchanging PHI. So that's the reason that our API access with CMS got cut. It wasn't because we were insecure. It wasn't because we violated HIPAA or violated anything else, really. It was just in terms of service where we couldn't charge money for the product. So
Makes sense.
I told all our users, hey, listen, if I could get access back, I'll give it away for free. And that won't violate the terms of service. You could just buy me a coffee or something.
Yeah, makes sense. And I think all this is doing is aggregating your own data in your own places that aren't all in the same place and put it in all in the same place. And people would say, the other famous not compliance, but controversy, because I dealt with this a lot in Toolkit, is you're going to steal my clients or something weird like that. I'm like, why would I risk the company itself over like your 6 clients you have? Like, come on, dude. Um, what value would that possibly have to all the time, effort, and energy and revenue you built to be like flipping 25 buck a month clients that you can see on the platform if you could even see them? So speak to the fact that it doesn't do companies that work in our space any good to do anything but what we're supposed to be doing good anyway.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And for somebody that has a sizable business, it's a reasonable concern. We're not going to do anything with the clients just because we make enough money by ourselves. We charge enough money subscription wise where we're profitable, we're cash flow positive. It doesn't make any financial sense to go and steal your lousy clients. Not that they're lousy, but I'm just saying, like, if we were going to get away with, like, if we could steal your clients and make like $50 million, then okay, I'd think about it. But clients and make like 200K, who cares? And then just jeopardize the entire business. So, you share your client data with like your CRM, with your email, with Sunfire, Connecture, Health Sherpa. So the last thing that you have to worry about is us stealing your client data.
A question with the way all these things work is there information saved in Comtrack so that if my FMO cuts off my Sunfire and I go broke and I can't pay for my go high level and all that stuff is gone, is it somewhere living inside of Comtrack for me to still get access to?
Yep. As long as you keep your subscription active, your data is safe and secure inside Comtrack. Even if you let it go, we do have a data retention policy. But and Comtrack doesn't run off of your FMO, so your FMO can't cancel your account or delete it, or frankly get into your account. Yeah.
Another one that I'm sure agents think to themselves in some of the silliest things, like, I can't afford an extra this. And I say to them, especially in the toolkit side of what I do, okay, so if you buy this and you sell one policy, you paid for this. Like, this does not actually cost you anything, makes you money, keeps you efficient, all those types of things. Agents I work with in my agency understand you have to invest money to make money, and leads don't cost money, they make you money. All these things they get. But there's a lot of agents out there that might choose to watch this today and think, however much this thing is, there's no way I could afford it, no way I could pay for that. Why would I bother to spend that kind of money? How would you explain to somebody with that kind of very narrow view of things how valuable this actually is?
Well, I would say, if you think like that, you're fucked. You're going to be poor for a long, long time because you don't understand the concept of ROI, right? If I hire an employee for $4,000 a month, I'm not losing $4,000. I'm just trading $4,000 for the value that they provide. And the value that they provide is going to be worth more than $4,000. It's the same thing with Comtrack. For most of the people on this call, Comtrack is going to cost you $69 a month, and you can use it unlimited. Well, if you pay $69 a month, it's not like you're throwing that away. You're going to get more than $69 a month in value. Frankly, we want to 10x your ROI. So if you save one client, that's like, I don't know, $300 a year. Right? You save 2 clients, it's $600 a year. You just paid for Comtrack for the full year. You save 2 clients. But we'll show you your missing renewals on a month-by-month basis. If you upload all of your commission data or have Retrieve go and get all your commission data for 2025, you'll be able to see all the clients that fall off the books on a monthly basis, right? And hopefully it's not a lot. I don't hope that for you. But it's better to know than not know. And if you see, okay, you have 10 clients that fall off the books, listen, you already closed them once. You can close them again. And it's much, much easier to get a past client back on the books with you than it is to get somebody new, right?
Yeah, and I'll give you a horror story here. I had my VA team start compiling all this data that I had never done anything with when it comes to Medicare. And I had been writing Medicare to some degree since probably 2018. When I started in 2018 doing Medicare, it was like, do you have Medicare? Oh, I don't. Well, here's Cigna. Like, very easy stuff. And then I got better over the course of time, added more carriers, more states, whatever. When I finally had my VAs pull all the data they could possibly get access to, the spreadsheet of clients was close to 800 long. MBIs, names, phone numbers. And I would say 300 or more of them at some point in the last 7 years disenrolled. But if I had kept a little bit of track of what I was doing and used software like this to help when with it, I mean, we're talking tens of $1,000s a month of revenue that has been lost to the wind because I didn't use systems and processes and just simply track that stuff like what this system would help with.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I mean, I look back on all the clients that I lost in my book of business before I came out with MediZeus and Comtrack, and I've made up for it since, but it pains me. It makes you want to throw
Yeah,
up sometimes. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Talk about setup and support for a moment before we go any further, because there's a lot of people like me that have paying $69, no big deal. Tracking my information, I need that kind of stuff. All of these things make perfect sense, but I'm not the most tech savvy, nor do I have the time in the day to make all the things happen that I want to. So, what does setup and support look like for someone that sets up an account with you?
So the first thing is our onboarding guide. We have really comprehensive tutorial videos, and they're videos where I'm walking you through each step of the process. Obviously, we've designed the platform to be as easy and as intuitive, easy, and user friendly as possible. But if you ever come up on something where you need help, myself or Ahmed, who is our head of implementation, will hop on a call with you and help you with whatever you need help with. We pride ourselves on not only having a really good product, but also having phenomenal customer support. If you ask any of our current users, they will say they are very pleased with our onboarding. So some of our users don't need any onboarding calls, and that's totally fine. Some of our agencies needed 8 of them. Whatever. We will help you and hold your hand and make sure that you get fully set up.
Yeah, I think I've probably used 8 expert hours on my CRM right now because I don't know what I'm doing. But if you show me, I could probably figure it out a little bit from there. And that's a lot of guys in this industry, like really successful people, have no idea what they're doing half the time until they've done it 100 times. They're like, all right, I got this now. So support and setup and assistance is just really valuable to people that are willing to pay money for products that make them better and make
Yeah.
them more money. Other thoughts or information you'd want to share in our final 7 minutes together?
Yeah. We brought MediZeus back inside of Comtrack. So let me show you how that works. Share my screen again. So, by the way, we have one last thing where you can calculate payroll if you have any LOAs, downlines, you need to pay overrides, pass something through to your downlines, handle that, and they can log into their portals and see their data on their data, and we'll sync with your payroll provider. So just want to hover over that real quick. But we built in the same process for book of business data. So obviously we handle commission data, and these are the main steps for that. For book of business, it's the same idea, but frankly, there's just a lot less steps. So in Comtrack, not only can we go into the carrier portals and grab your commission files for you, but we could also grab your book of business files. And so you're going to have basically a live data feed from the carrier portals on your book of business, aka production. Now, the biggest thing here is monitoring policy status. Okay, it's not monitoring money here with commissions, it's policy status. So we'll be able to show you, okay, this application was received, it's pending and it's good, or it's pending and it needs something like RFI, request for information. So anything like that. Now, the cool part is that all the major Medicare carriers will actually provide a future term report on their carrier portals, which is kind of wild. So you can go into Humana and there's a thing called the future term report. Same thing with United, Cigna, Anthem, WellCare even does it. And so because we're getting all this data, they will give us termination dates in the future. So it's like MediZeus, where it would show you, okay, these clients are falling off the books. The same thing will happen here. It'll show you these clients have a future term date. The only thing that we haven't recreated is showing the future plan. MediZeus will show you the future plan that they're moving to, whereas we don't have that data, frankly, because the carriers simply don't provide it in their portals. They'll just tell you that the client's ended. And then you
How
can send.
soon does the enrollment platforms, do you know this? And if you don't, that's okay. Show new plan data when you're searching MBI and such in their realm? Like, do they see it a week ahead, week after? Like, do you have any idea on when they know that stuff?
You're talking about like Sunfire and Connecture?
Yeah, without getting,
Yeah, so when you ping CMS, CMS will return uh, just the current like approved anything that's been approved. So if there's like an
Mhm.
MAP that's still pending with CMS and hasn't been approved yet, if you ping CMS, it won't return. So
Gotcha.
Sunfire and Connecture, two main enrollment platforms, they will ping CMS in real time the same way that MediZeus would, and then they'll show you whatever's on file, whatever's been approved.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. So you can see what's currently going on, which you can use those tools compliantly the way you're supposed to, but you can also use your brain to uncover a lot of information too, in addition to what I've been showing you.
Right, right, exactly. Yep. And I suppose one last thing, this is our website. If you want to get started, we made it really, really hard. You just click on sign up and you can choose between light and pro. I imagine most of the people watch will be on light. If you need to pay out any LOAs, you need to pay out any overrides to your downlines, anything like that, pro will handle you perfectly. But otherwise, you're going to be all good on light. If anybody on here wants a demo, just hit book demo. Myself or an account executive will hop on and show you around the platform.
Alrighty, before we wrap up, I would love to throw a practical question your way because you wrote plenty of business over time. What kind of practical in the sale tips or tricks could you share with an agent when it comes to final expense so that
Sure.
if they've watched all the way to the end, they can learn something that can help make them money today and then buy your platform tomorrow?
So when I would sell final expense, I would figure out three options for the client, for the prospect, and I'd go, low, medium, high. I wouldn't pitch anything that was like over the moon. Some producers like to do that. I never did that. I think they were all like kind of somewhat reasonable. But I would say, okay, you could do 5,000 of coverage for $50 a month, 10,000 coverage for $100 a month, 15,000 for $150 a month. And then I would shut up and I didn't say a single thing. Some people have a closing line. That's fine. But for whatever worked for me, I just didn't talk at all. And I just sat in it. And I remember waiting what felt like an hour. It was really like 2 minutes one time. And I remember saying to myself, like, just see what happens. Just don't say
Mhm.
anything. Try it as an experiment. Next one to talk loses. So sometimes they would just point and boom, we're done. And then they'd ask a question about one of them, and I'd take it from there. But a lack of a closing line is a closing line in and of itself.
Well said. Anything on the Medicare side you'd like to share? Because Medicare, while life sales is purely emotional, I told on a toolkit training today, when the lady says to you she can't afford it, not true.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually there's a value issue. You haven't created enough value yet to make her purchase, and you can just get better at that. I find, and you can disagree with me, Medicare is far more logical. Like they got to understand when they go to their doctor with a new card, they're not going to get yelled at. That they go to the pharmacy, they can get their medicine so they don't die. Like all of these things are logic based. So, what helps you write as many Medicare clients as you have, knowing it's a slightly different process?
With Medicare, what I did a lot was what's called plan to plan, meaning that I would keep them within the same carrier. So, I'd do my first question was, all right, most people fill out this postcard because they want to see if they qualify for extra dental, vision, hearing benefits. Sometimes they lower their doctor costs, sometimes they lower hospital or something else. Does that best describe you? And they'll say yes, and then they'll tell me a little bit more. And when I'm pitching a product for Medicare, it's only going to be one. I'm not going to give them three options. I choose one option. This one, you can't say the word better, but this would better suit your needs or fulfill your needs. But I'd keep them within the same carrier. So if they really like Humana, there might be a better Humana plan that they like. If they really like United, I'd give them a better United product. And the reason is because it's a lot less resistance if you do it that way. Now, if there is a complete home run with another carrier, obviously I'm going to pitch that. But a lot of times
Mhm.
I'd within the same carrier. And
Well said.
yeah, just smooth it that way.
Well said. Appreciate you joining me today. I will make sure to put in the link, the information to his site so you guys can check it out, sign up, set it up, and then put it to use. I can assure you a few things in life, but one of them is this: like, things that work, when you put them to work, make you money, they don't actually cost you money. And you have a choice to make. You're going to run your business like a business, or be a hobbyist, or completely waste your time. There's really not a lot of other things that can take place here. Appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe, engage with the content so other people share it and see it. And then come back tomorrow, because I have something to share with you as my gift to the industry in this winter special, like literally every day from the 23rd all the way into next year. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
So, yeah.